Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you find yourself. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to another session. It's Wednesday, 23rd of April, 2025. All right, let's begin with the dollar index. Now, I think yesterday, round about towards the close of the market, Mr. Trump made some announcement, and based on that announcement, it made the market move significantly beyond expectation, and that was the outcome of that announcement that he made. And we did have some big movements that took place, which most of them was unexpected, and then most of them was also expected. And I've said it several times that this year and the years to come, for the next 4 years, embrace yourself for something like this, because whenever Trump is in, you can expect the unexpected. So last night was one of them where he made mention of something. I think when I checked the news, it was to do with the rate announcement and the federal chairman, Powell. And that's what caused the market to move like that. So if you saw the market moving crazy yesterday in the evening, it was because of Trump. Now, based on what has happened on the daily time frame, price has been able to trade through this volume imbalance. It couldn't go above the up candle, but it did manage to trade through the volume imbalance. Now, that in of itself, it's a law. Okay, it means something, because volume imbalances are not that easy for price to trade through. So the fact that we're able to trade through it means a lot. Now, coming to the lower time frame, it means price can retrace and then go up, or we could resume going down, because on the weekly we are still bearish. Okay, on the weekly we've not actually done much, so it's gonna be tricky going forward. So my bias is now downside to consolidation. Okay, it's downside to consolidation because we've not got any reversal pattern yet. So I'm still bearish to a consolidation, and that will bring about potential movement that can happen on cross pairs. When the dollar index is in a state like this, then it can move the cross pairs. Okay, it can move the cross pairs. So I'll focus on some of the pairs that I've shared with you so far, especially if you look at Aussie CAD, if you look at New Zealand CAD. I think I caught the pullback on New Zealand CAD yesterday when it dropped. Essentially on the H4, it was trading within a range, this low to this high. So I caught that. And then I also caught New Zealand got stopped out, but I caught it again. This down candle did not hold, but I caught it again in the form of a pullback to continue going up here and then there. Okay, so with the consolidation, there's a high probability that they will move pairs that are yet to reach for their upside objectives. right? They will move pairs that are yet to get to their upside objectives. In this case, you have the Aussie CAD, New Zealand CAD, New Zealand dollar, Aussie dollar as well to continue going up, and then Euro Aussie. I think we spoke about Euro Aussie also continuing going down to attack that previous week low. And then yesterday I gave you what I thought was going to happen. So if you remember, we said that once we break this candle's low, okay, with that pullback during our session, once we go below this low, then price will go down to attack here, here, and then there. And then you see, that's what I was saying, the news did move some of the pairs in our favor, and then some not in our favor, especially the New Zealand dollar. I wasn't expecting that, but it's all part of the game. So one of my friends would say, we move. So yeah, we move, right? So with the dollar potentially in a sideways to downside, I will focus more on those pairs. I'll focus more on Aussie CAD, New Zealand CAD, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, Euro Aussie, Pound Aussie also, but I don't like the price action. That's why I did not give that one, because on the daily time frame it's just not making sense over here. Too much consolidation. Maybe after the close of today, then you can do something with it, because after the close of today we have a meaningful displacement below the up candle, so you can look for a continuation to the downside. Maybe even I'm going to the weekly to come here and there. Okay, so after the close of today, you can look for trade ideas to trade to these levels. Remember, the Aussie will potentially gain some strength and they will send it down. All right. Euro Aussie, I think that's the one that I'm in. I took one trade yesterday and two of them. No, one. My bad. I took one. So I took this one. Once we broke down the pullback, I took that. And then I think I woke up around early hours this morning and I saw that we were down here. This drop broke this, so I placed the sell limit right on the 1 hour fair value gap here. I placed the sell limit right in here, so I got triggered in with this candle here. I got triggered in with my stop above this high, and I was looking for this low as a target. Came very, very close to it, and as usual, right, they pull back. So I'm expecting that drop to go and attack that and this one. It might happen this New York session. If they happen to pull back into this gap, that would be perfect for another sell. So watch it. If they do pull back into that gap, you can look for a rejection to continue going down. I think that would be the best trade in my opinion for now. I think it was New Zealand CAD or Aussie CAD, one of them. Yes, this one. So that also closed above the down candle over here, and that was a potential buy, because last week closed bullish. last week closed bullish, so we expect this week to be also bullish. And Monday dropping, taking out this low and that low with this immediate close. That is a perfect confirmation for the low of the week for us to go up. So I'm expecting it to continue. Now, if you've missed that in terms of entries, just wait for them to break this. Okay, let them break that high. Once that high is broken, we would have established a nice dealing range, because price took out this low, not just that one as well. Okay, we took out these two lows, and let me draw the line properly. Okay, we took out these two lows. So if we break that high, this will be a nice range. We can pull back into that, and then you can get an entry. Okay, so I think that would be your best entry if you've, I think most of you would have missed this. So wait, let them break this, pull back, and then you get in. I actually didn't get in on this. I got in on the New Zealand dollar yesterday. I was tempted because I was looking at the M5 here. Actually M15, yeah. So I was looking at here when we broke through this, and I was tempted to buy it, and I stopped. I was like, okay, the time of the day is not good, so I'm gonna leave it, and I left it. By the time I woke up, price was up there. Okay, so I didn't get in. That's why I'm suggesting what I'm suggesting. I think it will go and attack this high, and once we do, you can look for a pullback and then you buy it. New Zealand CAD, this one also gave a nice break, and then we pull back. That was the entry on the New Zealand CAD as well. This is a New York session fair value gap. I hope you're paying attention to them. That was an area price was gonna react, so I'm expecting them to trade through. If we trade through it, that same area can act as a resistance. So if we break, pull back, you can buy and then attack this equal high, this high and that high and that high. It looks too clean. If you break through it, look for it to come back to that same area, similar to something like this. Okay, and then you buy to go and attack this equal high. So that's another trade that you can take for this week, aiming for this equal high. Apart from that, yeah, let's go to gold. So gold, we rejected yesterday's candle, and we are now back into this last down candle. Now, based on the extensions, based on the extensions that I gave the last time, we've reached all of them, right? That's the 2, that's the 618. Okay, now when price does reach for these levels, most of the time there is a likelihood of a pullback. So this week could also be a potential reaccumulation, right? We have up, then one accumulation, then up, then one accumulation. Then we have 1 up, 2 up, and then potential accumulation. So gold is not bearish, okay? It's just reaccumulating. So depending on how we close this week, they can take out this low into this gap here and then resume going higher. The month of March is also ending as an up candle. So sorry, the month of April is ending as an up candle, or potentially going to end as an up candle. So we will expect them to continue going higher by using this fair value gap. Okay, we will expect them to continue going higher by using this fair value gap. So watch that area right here, that we could dip into it, take out this candle's low, and then resume going up again. Okay, so watch that, and that's where I think you can look for a potential trade to form. The week is not done, because that's Monday, that's Tuesday, that's Wednesday. So they could form a low tomorrow and then reject and then start shaping to go back up. Then next week when we open, it will just resume going up again. Right? So watch gold to trade somewhere down here. Right here. Okay, and then we look for continuation to the upside. Okay, crude oil. So crude oil, we eventually took out this high, and as I mentioned, I think I'm expecting them to go somewhere up in here as they draw on liquidity. I still stand with that. Right, this might be a pullback, and then we resume going up. If we lose this low here, if we lose that low, then we will be trading somewhere here. And even with that, I'll still expect them to go back up. Okay, if we lose this candle's low, then we will be trading somewhere down here. Sorry, here first. And that's a gap that has not been filled. So they could trade there. And they probably even reject from there, because that's a nice auto block that formed last week, Wednesday. Now, yesterday I did get a trade, as you can see on it. That was during my session with my private student. During the session, I had a impression that they were going to go for that high. So during the New York session, the purple line, price pulled back into this nice area gap, and I went long in there, and I placed my TP right here, and price went for it. My entry was actually on the, I think, 1 minute chart. Yeah, my entry was on a 1 minute chart right here, and then my stop loss was below this low, because I was using this low to this high as OTE, or looking for the optimal trade entry. And you can see exactly where we came to. Oops. Okay, we came to, let's see if we can remove this line from there. So that's the 618, that's the 70.5, and that's the 79. So that's 70.5. That's where the gap was. And then it met time of the day, right? And price rejected, and then I didn't even see it because I was busy doing something. By the time I realized, price was already there. All right, so that was a good trade. And then I also took a trade on ES based on what I said yesterday. So yesterday I said they were likely going to trade up in here inside that gap. All right, and during the New York session, or during the afternoon purple line, I was looking for them to trade in here. So what I did was buy a fair value gap on a 5 minutes chart right here. So once price expanded up, I saw the gap formed, we pull back into it, and I basically bought it. Right here, and then I got out right there. So that was a nice trade as well. And today I'm expecting them to go up to this level, this high and that high. That looks too clean, and that high as well. So this New York session, I'll actually be looking for a buy to trade up there. So hint hint, during the purple time, you're looking for a run for 5498.50 and then 5528.75. I think that's where price is gonna go. It has a similar narrative as crude oil. Okay, it has a similar narrative as crude oil. This low, okay, is similar to the low on ES that was taken, which is that one. Okay, but ES took out that low, crude oil did not. Right, so the reason why I think this will go up here. So if you look at crude oil, for example, crude oil is trading here, and it was able to go and attack this high, but with ES we came down to attack this low before rejecting. So that's also gonna take out this high, and the idea is coming from the weekly time frame. Okay, the weekly is such that we took out a previous week low, so we need to take out a previous week high. Hence, when price went below this low, it needs to reject to go and take out a high. Right, so that was where the narrative was coming from. And with yesterday's rejection, once we traded through this here, then price is gonna trade there and then go up. So this New York session, that's your target. This equal higher. It looks too clean in my opinion, and we gapped up as well. We've traded through this and we've gapped up, so I'm super convinced we're gonna go up here. Okay, so during the purple time, during this time, look for a fair value gap that forms, then get in, trade to that level. I forgot, I also took another trade on that was a lucky trade, to be honest. It wasn't planned, but I took another trade on GBP USD. I sold short. Okay, now I sold short because I was using an idea that I am teaching a group of students of mine. I have a group of students that I'm helping, and I've given them a practice for them to do. And during that teaching, I took the trade just to show them that, okay, this is what I meant. So it wasn't like an intentional trade, but it did work out. So what I did was, or what I was teaching them was to use the H4 closing price and trade in the direction of the H4 closing price. So if they see the H4 closing up, then they buy the next candle. If they see the H4 closing down, then they sell the next candle. That was the practice that I gave them. So to show them an example of how it looks like, this candle closed bearish below that. That candle was the one that was trading when I was teaching them. So once this candle closed, this was going to be a down candle. Hence, this was also going to be a down candle. So when I was teaching them, this was the candle that was printing. So when I was saying to them, this is how it looks like, and this is how you take the trade. So I took the trade randomly, and then obviously with what I'm giving them, I said to them to place their stop loss above the high and then look for 1 to 1 as a target, or half 0.5 to 1 as a kind of a practice. So when I took it, I forgot to close it. Okay, when I took it, I forgot to close it. Then few minutes after I finished teaching them, Trump made that silly announcement, and then this went super down. I took my profit, so I was like, yay, that was a nice trade. All right, now recently I did take a couple of losses, so my account went down. If you can see over here, took a couple of losses, so my account went down. And with yesterday, I took these. So this is the long on the ES mini. This is the long on the crude oil. This was a buy on GBP. That was the mistake, a trade that I took by mistake, because I was meant to press on sell. So I had to close it, and then that was the sell trade that I just discussed. Okay. So still my account is doing well. So far, so good. Now, being transparent with you all, you will take losses. It's not every day green, green, green. You can get green, green, green consecutively, but at some point a red will appear. Okay, so today or tomorrow I'll show you if I get an entry for this New York session to go for this high, and then I'll see if I can get another trade. Probably will be on this pair, Euro Aussie, to go and attack these equal lows, because I'm tempted to add another position to it. I'm really tempted to add another position to it to go and attack that low. So I'll see if I can get an entry. I like to wait till the New York session, the purple line. Now, why do I speak a lot about the purple line? Why do I speak about the purple line? The purple line, it's the New York session. Okay, the heart of New York session. At 1, yes, it kind of starts at 1, but 2 to 5, that's the best time. Okay, because London is still trading and New York is trading. Europe is also trading. So there's a lot of movement that happens there. And I'm doing some research on IPTA, the interbank price delivery algorithm. I'm doing some research on it, and based on the findings that I'm getting, during that time of the day, that is when the algorithm is quote unquote very active. Okay, so the signatures that I've discussed here, aka fair value gaps, order blocks, liquidity run, all those concepts, okay, they work very, very well during that time. Okay, during that specific time between 2 and 5. So if you have a direction, then that will be the best time. And I think if you've been around for some time, ICT have said it several times. As a beginner, that's the time you want to trade, because that's when, based on years of not listening, I wanted to understand why, and now I do understand why, because that's the time that the algorithm is very, 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 very active and precise. So, and I used the same idea yesterday to trade the crude oil, right? During that time, find a gap. So this was a gap another time that you can look for something similar is during the landing session. Okay, that small landing session period. If any gaps forms in there, that was the catalyst for the trade yesterday. So gap forming in London, pulling back to it in New York. That is a perfect symmetry of price. And then we expand up again. Okay. So yeah, do the same thing today. You have here as an example is gap that formed in London. All right. So during this New York session in the next 30 minutes or less than that, you can look for price to manipulate down, drop down to the 5 minutes time frame, and then look for something like this. If you see this happening during that time, it's more highly, the probability of it going up, it's higher than when you see something like this forming in here. Okay, when you see something like this forming during that 2 to 5 p.m., which is here, the 2 to 5, yeah, between that 2 to 5. If you see something like that forming in that during that time, the probability of it going in your favor is higher than seeing it forming somewhere in here. Okay, that's basically the findings that I got. That sometimes during this time, yes, you have that pattern, but the algorithm is not working during that time, so it might not work. But when it's this particular time, then it will work. That's why again ICT talks about time and price. Time first, then price, because there is a time that the algorithm works and there's a time that it doesn't work. Okay, I think I can just do this. Perfect. So that is that for the currencies. I hope everybody got what they need. If you have any question, like I said, if you're watching from X, put your question under the comment section on X. If you're watching from YouTube, just put your question in the comment section or the chat section on YouTube. I will see it. And then very soon in future, those that are in the portal can send me a direct message to my Telegram and I'll see it. Okay, let's move on to the crypto market. Oops. Okay. All right, here we are on the crypto market, starting with Bitcoin. Now, not what I expected. Again, that is coming from Mr. Trump. I wanted to see them just pop up above this and then start making a move down. Then we go up. But that's not what happened. We had a big scream above it. Now, based on that candle, okay, I am certain that it's gonna go and take out the previous month high, which is this level here. So it's going for the March high. Okay, it's going for the March high. Now, is it going to sustain to continue going up? It can. So I'm watching how this week is gonna close, because if this week closes like this, then we will resume going up. That will give us a run below this low, a run below that low, and then a break above this high, going above this up candle. That's if we sustain this candle. Okay, if we sustain this candle, then there's a likelihood that it might even create a fair value gap, and that'll be very, very powerful, because if they can create a fair value gap over here, then Bitcoin will resume going up. Now, that is what, so far, based on yesterday's candle, that is what I'm seeing happening. Okay, I think they might create another candle like this, and then that will eventually leave a gap here. Now notice that as it was going down, it could not leave any fair value gap on that side, which is a good thing. Why? Because if it left any gap up here, that means that gap could hold or could be a resistance, and then it will pull back to it and go down again, but there's none. If they can create a bullish one, then definitely, as I've been saying, this is not a bearish market, it's still bullish. They'll resume going up, and that'll be very, very good for us to use these two down candles to project upside objectives. Okay, we can project upside objectives, and it'll be much, much better if, this is a big if this month can close above the previous month. That would be the best. Okay, if this month can close above the previous month, that will be the best. That will give every confirmation in the world that Bitcoin will resume going up, and this time we might be reaching for, I think, if we project this to the upside, we will be looking at a 144,000 area with 130 as an upside objective, and then 144 as our main target. Okay, that's if we can close above this down candle, the March candle. Okay, it will end up as a 2 reaccumulation candles. So this one will be the original consolidation. This will be reaccumulation, first stage. This will be the second stage of reaccumulation, right? So there's still big candles to unfold before maybe, I won't say a reversal, before maybe a pullback might take place, right? So we are likely going to end up this week as a bullish candle, and then next week that will end up as a bullish candle as well. Next week up to Wednesday, next week Wednesday, that is when the month will end. So a week today, we will have more information whether that 130k and 144k is achievable. So fingers crossed, and that will in turn affect everything. As I kept saying, if we get Bitcoin to go up, it will ripple through everything. All the cryptos will have the potential to go up. So starting with AI16Z, okay, now if you see how price is coming up, this high, it's going to be taken, and once it's taken, then we probably might not come back down again. This might be the original consolidation, and then we start expanding aggressively up. If we get what I'm saying on Bitcoin, then that is when AI16Z will begin its rise back up again, and then all those that quote unquote didn't like it, seeing it a bit lower, they will wake up Okay, because I have not given up on the idea that this is the best to be in. Solana, that has broken this high, so similar, if we can sustain and move to go up here, that is when we can start seeing potential move to the upside. Even that, Solana might struggle. Okay, this one might struggle because it will face this up candle. So I'm not really a big fan of Solana going up to resume going up to make a new high. I'm not. This high might be taken, but it will give a range on the weekly time frame. So you might be facing something like this, and it might trade up here. That's where it might trade to. Okay, so again, if we can sustain this candle, then that is where we are likely going to go. But to make a new all-time high, I'm not seeing that yet. It will depend on how we will trade in here. Okay, so that's the only gap that exists so far. So if this week can sustain that, then we can make a move up towards this level. All you have to do is just follow the daily and the weekly to constantly give you an up close. I think we've discussed Bitcoin. Ethereum, it couldn't even get here, which is where I wanted to see them trade to first. Now, this level is still, to me, vulnerable. This is far from reversal. I don't think Ethereum is going to do what Bitcoin might do. I could be wrong, but based on the high time frame, this is gonna struggle. Okay, Ethereum is gonna struggle. So far from making a new high to no, we might trade maybe somewhere up in here. Okay, and that's where we might trade to, and then probably come back down again. All right, because if you look at what Bitcoin is doing, trading almost to attack March high, and you see where Ethereum is. This is March high. Look at where Ethereum is. Okay, so it's very weak. Hence, probably just focus on the others. Leave this one alone. But it's showing signs of trading through that imbalance. Okay, so if you like, maybe a move up here is possible. First, a move here, and then here. Okay, if you want to trade it, then these will be upside objectives that you can actually take. Hype, I think I've already given the target this about this. That's where I think price is going, and today might give an expansion candle, so watch it for a continuation to the upside. 21.43, that's where you want to target hype. Ripple, it didn't come back down. Great, we don't want that, because if it does come, we want it to reject immediately. That also is going to depend on how this month is going to end. Now pay attention, because if we end this month like this, then that high could be in trouble, and Ripple can also make a new all-time high. Okay, Ripple can also make a new all-time high. So instead of putting attention on Ethereum, I'll look at Ripple instead. I think I have a few friends that actually bought Ripple, so they might laugh by the end of the month. Let me take this one out. So let's see. On the weekly time frame, this up candle will be a problem, but not much of a problem because where we are rejecting from is a higher time frame level. So it might trade through it. And if we do, we'll make all-time high again. So watch this candle's high. It comes in at 2.5844. Once we go above it, Ripple will make all-time high again. We go above this high. I think, yeah, we will go above that high. So watch this up candle's high. If we can breach it, we make all-time high again. And that is all going to depend on how we close this week. And how we're going to close this week depends on how we close in every single day. So watch, every single day we are closing bullish, especially leaving behind fair value gaps. Right, so that one held, we couldn't trade through it. This one potentially should hold. Preferably don't come back to it. It needs to go and then create another one here, then they can trade to that one. So tomorrow's candle should be like this to trade here, and then that will create a gap, then they can pull back to it and then go up again. All right, so that is Ethereum, I'm sorry, Ripple for you. Tatsuo. Okay, so Tatsuo is doing something interesting. I think in our previous session I said watch this equal high, they are going to come for it. Early hours this morning I saw this candle appear and I did mark this high that it's likely going to take it. I think that's the monthly high. That's the monthly high. Okay, so they are likely going to take it. Now again, similar to the other pairs, if we can close above this up candle, then it's something. Okay, it's something. It's gonna have potential to go up if we can close above this candle's high. So fingers crossed, Tatsuo will close above this candle's high, and then we can start looking for continuation to the upside. Now, this is the cheapest that it could be. I don't think it could go, and I don't think it could go all the way here because that's not good. So I like the way price has rejected. Now, some of you need to understand something. It does not matter what you're doing. Bitcoin is king. Just like when it comes to the currencies, the dollar is king, Bitcoin is king. So whatever it is, whatever crypto, whether it's a utility coin, whatever it's a meme coin, whatever it is, when Bitcoin starts going up, regardless of who is doing what, automatically it will go up. Okay, now the fallacy about this thing, and that's what I'm kind of researching, is that someone is sitting somewhere doing all this buying and this selling, right? No, there is an algorithm that delivers price. Whether you believe it or you don't, that is your problem. But there is an algorithm that delivers price, and when it has to go up, it will go up. It doesn't matter who is doing the buying, who is doing the selling, because price has to be delivered efficiently. Efficiency is the name of the algorithm. It needs to deliver price in such a way, right, that does not show any sign of manipulation. That was the first reason why the algorithm was designed. It was designed in such a way to bring efficiency in the market. Because if it was still traded as the traditional old ways, there could be manipulation. Yes, there is a bit of manipulation, but I would say it's a psychological manipulation built into the algorithm, where it will make certain moves that feels as if it's being manipulated, but it's all part of the way it's designed, right? So since it's designed to be efficient, since it's designed to make price move, it's gonna move when it's gonna move. It does not matter if trader A is trading it or trader B is trading it. All right. So here, I'm saying all this to say that this move, okay, let's say I am the project manager for Tattoo, right? And I'm sitting there thinking, this thing has been dropping for a long time. I wonder if someone is gonna buy it. No. If it's gonna go up, it does not matter who and why. It will go up because it's being fed through something to print these candlesticks that you see. Or the candlestick is just an avenue for us to see price, but it's being fed through something for price to be delivered. So that's why it's called price delivery algorithm. Price delivery. It delivers price. Okay, think about it. That's all. Touch key. Yeah, touch key is also breaking through that gap. So that's also a nice one. This will be your original consolidation. Right, and then we've traded through the gap, so we might start reaccumulating, and then we'll start resuming going up as well. I wanted to see them trade a little bit lower, but it's too low for it to continue going down. Yeah, I don't think if it comes down here, you might as well as drop the project, which I don't think the people behind that key is gonna drop the project. So it was just a matter of time. And I think probably the time is now. But let's see, let's see. Because it has a long way to go. Considering it was trading somewhere here and now we are here. It's the cheapest that it can be. And again, that's what, if you don't understand what the market is all about, when it's down here, that's the best time to buy. That's why I kept making noise about AI16Z. If it had gone even lower, that is still better than buying somewhere up here, right? Imagine going to the shop, an iPhone costs 2,000, and then all of a sudden, iPhone now costs $20. Will you buy more iPhone or you will sell more iPhone? I'll buy iPhone at $20. I'll probably buy 100 or 1,000 of them. Okay, that's how this looks like. Okay, that is how this looks like. You have to put it in perspective in terms of trading the average life, right? Compare it to the average life. If this was an iPhone, here, let me go back up. Here, if this is an iPhone, here, price was trading, let's say 1,002. iPhone cost 1,002. And then it went to, let's say 2004, right? Would you buy iPhone for 2004? Maybe. But all of a sudden, iPhone comes to what? Let's say $100. It comes to $100. Almost, which is where I wanted it to go, $800 compared to 2000. Would you buy more? Of course. And that's what I kept saying about these two. That where we are now, these three, that is the best time to be buying it, not selling it. Don't see it as oh my god, is dropping. No, seed as an investor, this is the best time to buy. Okay, a word to the wise is enough. So I'll end here. I'll see you all tomorrow, same time, and we will see what the market will I think is run away. Anyway, it's not New York session, so I'll try and find an entry. Yes, I'll see you all same time tomorrow, and do your best. Okay, I've given a lot, so do your best, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.